This is my roommate's parking spot. This is mine. Hey guys, what's up? So there's been a little bit of a trend going around within the motovlogger community to make a video about 10 things that you hate about your motorcycle. You know, insert blank here. So I've come up with a list for my bike. However, it was really hard to come up with actually 10 things that I hate about it specifically. And I know the subject should generally be around 10 things you hate about your motorcycle, not the motorcycle. So I decided maybe it'd be easier if I went ahead and created a list of 10 things I hate about my Samurai, because that list was a lot easier to come up with. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the number one thing, the absolute number one thing I would have to say that I hate about the Samurai, my Samurai, more to my Samurai anyway, is the oil burning. This thing burns so much goddamn oil that I can't tell. I mean, I have to basically put a quart of oil in this thing every few days. I mean, it needs a quart or two at least once a week. So, yeah. The number two thing I think I have to say that I hate the most is also having to do with the oil. I don't know why I just opened this up, because there's actually no hood release in here. Just a habit, I guess. Yeah. Not something I hate, but that's a little ghetto broken zip tie that actually pulls the mechanism. So, the number two thing I hate most about this thing, without a doubt, is how much it freaking leaks. So, you know, it's an old engine. This engine is actually older than I am. You know, you see most leaks coming from like the valve cover here, and you know, maybe the cap, which it looks like there's leaking there, but that's actually just me putting oil in there and spilling a little bit. You know, most leaks come from a pretty common area, but this I find comes from a little bit different area. A lot of people have trouble having leaks from this area right here around the distributor and that seal right there. I don't think I'm having any issues there, but my issues mainly stem from down here along the front of the timing cover. Now, inside here is the timing belt to go to the camshaft. If you can see, there's just tons of oil there. So yeah, that's gotta be the number two thing I hate about this. Now, I definitely have to say, as far as the number three thing I hate about this vehicle, it's not something I necessarily hate about the vehicle itself, more along the lines of, you know, I mean, obviously it's about my vehicle, so the thing I hate third about my vehicle is, without a doubt, the suspension, because right now, the suspension is, it's an older leaf sprung vehicle, so I've got to replace the springs, because God knows when the last time they were replaced. But the main reason I need to replace the springs is because not only are they worn, but I need to actually have a suspension lift in order to put the engine in that I want to, because my plans for this is to do a motor swap. I'm going to be putting in an engine. At this point, I wanted to do the Volkswagen diesel conversion, but I think that's just going to be too much overhead involved that I can't afford. As cool as it would be, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a Suzuki Sidekick engine, hopefully a 16 valve 1.6 liter inline four. They have the 8 valve version too, but you can squeeze like 20 more horsepower out of the 16 valve version. And I really thought I wanted fuel injection, but I really thought I wanted a carburetor, but judging by just how annoying this carburetor in particular has been to deal with, I don't know if I want to do that maintenance. I never thought dealing with a single car carburetor would be a lot more tedious than 2 motorcycle carburetors on on my bike. So yeah, let's take a look at the suspension here. So got the spring here. You can see it's actually bent upwards a little bit from the ground. Here's the rear end where the back of the spring goes in, and yeah, it's almost sitting flat, if not going completely upwards. The rear may be a little bit different of a story. I think the rears have been a little bit better just because they have this little helper spring on there. But yeah, it looks like it's still in pretty decent shape. And the rear on this side, yeah, see, these are pretty, still not too bad. But it's definitely the front which is having a lot of bending issues. So the springs in the front are a little bit more bent, but either way, they need to be replaced pretty soon. So unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen, just because of budgetary reasons. I need to get the spring over kit to put the springs on top of the axle. I think that's where I'm going to get my lift in order to fit the new motor. Alright, so that's those are without a doubt the top number 3 things that are making me really unhappy with the Samurai. I mean, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it, but it's just having to deal with those 3 in order to just get them out of the way so that I can go ahead and do the motor swap. Really stressful financially and mentally, because the motor, who the hell knows when that thing's going to give out. The number 4 thing that I have to say I hate about my Samurai is the gear slipping. So I think this one is actually going to be a relatively easy one to solve. I think the gear slipping is only really an issue right now because of the 2-inch body lift. And the 2-inch body lift is going to be removed, I think, as soon as I can get the lift installed that I want. And the reason I think that is because right now the gear actually only slips out of gear when it's on the bottom 3 gears, 2, 4, and reverse. I don't really ever have any trouble in 1st, 3rd, or 5th. I don't really use 5th just because the engine I can't get fast enough for 5th to be useful. Whenever I'm shifting into, well, 2nd, you can see already it's like, ugh, it's super easy to pop out. And there's 4th. And there's reverse. Reverse is really hard because it's the worst stretch of them all. It's just super easy to pop right out. However, when it's in 1st, it's like, oh, click, okay, no problem. 2, that's fine. Doesn't come right out at all. 5th, no problem. So you can see right here, the actual metal looks like it's been grinded down a tad, and that's because when they did the body lift, what happens is this body gets raised up and puts more pressure on this forward-wise. So now when the body is lifted, I don't think it's actually reaching all the way down like it needs to be. So yeah, that's kind of putting pressure on it to push it back up. At least I hope that's the issue, because it could potentially be way worse. Number 5 about the things I hate about my Samurai. Now, if you know anything about Samurai, it's that they get put through the ringer, and that's because these things are just brilliant off-road machines. I've experienced it, I've seen other people experience it. They're light as hell, so they float over any obstacle as opposed to just deforming and pushing it out the way. So yeah, that puts a lot of wear and tear on the body itself, water-wise. So number 5 is going to be the rust. this particular Samurai was delightfully pretty rust-free as far as the body went when I checked it out. And, you know, that's really awesome. There are some rust holes, but they look pretty easy to patch, you know, provided you've got a good welder, know how to weld, or know anyone that can weld it for you. So, another thing you know about the Samurai, not a lot of body space. I mean, dead hooker space. Yeah, they're not fully covered all that well. The previous owner just put duct tape in, and I've heard that that'll pass inspection, and I hope that it will, because if it doesn't, well, that's just another thing I gotta get fixed before this thing can legally be driven on the road. I think those were the only real rust holes. I know there's rust holes. There's some rust over there a little bit underneath the paint. If you can see the wheel well, there's a little... I'll move the camera so you can see behind it. There's a little bit of a wheel well rust there, but the other side has been pretty good. And I don't think there's really any in the front here, although if I was a gambling man, and I am, yep, there's a rust hole there. Around the drain plug, see the duct tape? It's underneath the paint, well hidden. And there's some other holes that just need to be plugged up, because, I mean, yeah, this is one of the reasons it's not very warm in here. Ah, damn it. Alright, so number 6 for things I do not like about my Samurai in particular. This is something that is going to be a struggle generally with all Samurai, in that they're very hard to keep warm. And that's just because, you know, it's a one layer body. A lot of them have soft tops, and even if you have a hard top, I can't speak from experience, but I can't imagine it being much warmer. I know I posted a video a little while back where I went into the inside of the cabin and went up there behind this vent here and opened up a hole and took an air compressor and blew out all the crud on top of the heater core. But, you know, that's only going to do so much. Not only is it a really small little heater core, it also happens to be, you know, there's a lot of air holes around it where the cold air won't circulate well over it. And because of that, you know, it's just going to be overall a bitch to heat, because, like I said, soft top, not very good for sealing in warm air. Alright, so number 7, while we're on the subject of the soft top, I also put this in the other video before, but I've since made the most technologically advanced, best money can buy repairs to the soft top, and I'm feeling a lot warmer in the cabin now. So that's just a simple little gripe about my Samurai. Just one more thing that I hate about it. But, you know, we're really, at this point, we're kind of just digging for stuff. I think that was number 8. Yeah, I believe that was number 8. So, number 9, while we're still in the area of the soft top, is how the door opens up on the back. Now, I don't know that this could just be an all Samurai thing. I'm not sure, but I'm only putting this on my list because I don't know of any other tops. Like, I believe this is a what you call it? Focus. Yeah, I don't know what that R stands for, but I know the most recommended soft top for the Samurai has been the best top soft top, and I don't think that coincides with an R. So yeah, one thing I really don't like about this top anyway is how I can't just open my back door. I have to go to each one of these little rivets, and it sucks when it's in the cold because they're that much harder to open. And I gotta pop these off every time. There's those 3, and then there's the one right here. Now, that's all you need to open the door, but ta-da! Still doesn't open all the way. You gotta use these little zipper things. And now that that's done, and this last part just could be me being an idiot, but folds upward, and there's no real place to secure it. Like I said, probably just me being an idiot and not knowing how to do shit. But there's these two little things here, and sorry, but a snap and a buckle loop. That just, I mean, how? Why? What the hell is the purpose of that? So I'm sure there's some way that I can secure this upward, but I don't know how yet. But yeah, there's how you open up the tailgate. Now comes the annoyingly laborious way of just sealing the back up. And I gotta make sure this doesn't get in the way and hump it shut with the dick there. And then, like I said, it's cold, so stretching these isn't always the easiest task, although it's cooperating right now. See, look, there goes me again, always having to do it the hard way first. Oh, come on. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's cold out here, so it doesn't stretch. Oh, okay, you know what? I don't give a shit. So that is number 9 on the list of things I really hate about my Samurai. And like I said, we're in the nitpicky region here, so I'm going to go ahead and say number 10 would have to be my exhaust pipe. And like I said, easy to fix some of these. This one in particular, because all I need is a saw. And the only thing I don't like about the exhaust pipe is this little 90-degree bend right here. I like it and I don't like it. I don't like it for the way that it looks, because I would like to just cut it off, like, you know, right here, have the smoke exhaust just come around back. But that's not really an option if I don't have a saw. And I have a saw, I just gotta use my roommate's. I don't like how it looks when it just comes back this way. Like when it comes it just looks weird to me. But I do like it because if I have anyone on the road that has severely pissed me off, I just gotta, you know, pull up next to them kind of a little bit and then just smoke the fucking shit out of their car. And it's absolutely fun doing that, just because anytime I'm on the road, anytime, doesn't matter when, it's always smoking. So it's like I can just be at a stoplight. I can just be at a stoplight and it'll just start generating a really toxic cloud around me. And it's like, I look in the mirror, I look in my side mirror, I look at the people in front of me, and they're just people going, so it's fun. That's about all I can really think of for 10 things that piss me off about my Samurai. Otherwise, I love it to death. You know, I said it was easy to come up with this list, but in all reality, it still took me about a week to get the stuff together and just in my head and compile it in the order of which I hate it. Like I said, the number one thing is the motor, and that's already in the works to fix as soon as I can gather the funds to do so. But yeah, thanks for watching. For a pump, and I felt it in my handle. It never happened before. That's strange. Science.